Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me closely. Stop worrying. Yeah, I said it. Stop worrying, because the moment you start worrying, you start doubting. And when you start doubting, you're putting more faith in the problem than in the promise. Let me break something down for you real quick. You're standing in a hallway full of doors, and some of you have been staring at a door that's been slammed shut, locked tight. You've been pushing and praying, pulling and panicking, wondering why it won't open. When a door closes in your life, whether it's a lost opportunity, a failed relationship, a denied application, or a dream that didn't go the way you expected, it can feel like rejection. It can feel like the world is saying no to everything you hoped for. But the reality is, just because a door is closed doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It could actually be the most loving and strategic move for your future. What if the door you were so desperate to walk through wasn't meant for you in the first place? What if it was never equipped to carry the weight of your calling, your character, or your future? When you understand that a closed door might be protection, it shifts your whole mindset. You stop seeing it as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. You begin to realize that not every opportunity is a blessing. Some open doors are traps. Some opportunities come dressed like gold, but are really just glitter. And if you walk through them too soon, or at all, you could find yourself stuck in a situation that stunts your growth, steals your peace, or delays your purpose. Think about this. If you gave a child the keys to a car before they knew how to drive, that wouldn't be a gift. It would be a danger. In the same way, there are some doors we ask God to open that He keeps shut, not to withhold something good from us, but to keep us from stepping into something we're not ready to handle. That's not rejection. That's divine protection. That's love in disguise. That's grace standing guard. Sometimes protection comes in the form of disappointment. You apply for the job and don't get it. You launch the business and it doesn't take off. You try to build the relationship and it falls apart. In that moment, it hurts. It's frustrating. It makes you question your direction, your decisions, and even your worth. But in hindsight, you often realize that what didn't work out was actually setting you up for something greater. If you had gotten that job, you never would have been available for the one that was truly aligned with your purpose. If that relationship had continued, it might have drained you, distracted you, or even destroyed you. Closed doors hurt in the moment, but they often make sense in the mirror of time. There's a divine intelligence behind the scenes of your life, orchestrating things you can't see yet. You may think you're ready, but sometimes the delay is not about punishment, it's about process. You're still being prepared. You're still developing the muscles, the mindset, the maturity to sustain what's coming. And if the wrong door opens too early, it can detour you from the destiny that was meant to unfold in perfect timing. Protection can also mean redirection. A closed door isn't just keeping you out of something. It's often guiding you towards something else, towards something better, towards something that fits, something that's designed not just for your comfort, but for your calling. So instead of asking, why didn't this door open, maybe the better question is, what is this door protecting me from? Because once you see it that way, you'll stop banging on doors that were never meant to be yours. You can't miss what's meant for you. That truth alone can bring a level of peace that worry could never provide. When you truly understand this principle, it changes how you respond to delays, detours, and disappointments. You stop panicking over every missed call, every closed door, every opportunity that didn't turn out the way you hoped. Because you know that what is meant for you isn't just about chance. It's about divine alignment and divine timing. What is truly yours cannot be taken by someone else. It won't slip through your fingers because of a moment of hesitation or a temporary setback. If it was written with your name on it, it's not going to fit anyone else. Too many people live with anxiety because they think they blew their shot. They think one wrong move, one poor decision, or one missed opportunity means their whole destiny is gone. But that's not how grace works. That's not how purpose works. Life is not a tightrope where one misstep causes you to fall off permanently. Life is more like a GPS. You can make a wrong turn, but the system recalculates and gets you back on track. What's meant for you will always circle back around when you're ready to receive it. Timing is a factor, but trust is the foundation. When you operate from the belief that you can't miss what's meant for you, you stop chasing things out of desperation. You stop trying to force open doors that aren't yours. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's, thinking they got ahead, while you fell behind. Purpose isn't a race. It's a process, and the destination is reserved. You don't have to fight for it. You don't have to beg for it. You don't have to manipulate your way into it. All you have to do is prepare yourself, stay faithful, and stay available. Sometimes what's meant for you doesn't show up in the way you expect it. It may not come in the time frame you imagined. It may not even look like what you were praying for, but when it comes, it fits, it resonates, it aligns. It gives you peace, even if it challenges you. That's how you know it's real. That's how you know it's for you. And because it's for you, nothing and no one can block it. People can delay it, circumstances can detour it, but they can't destroy it. The calling on your life isn't fragile. It doesn't depend on perfection. It depends on persistence and faith. Think about all the times in your life when something didn't happen, and you thought it was the end. Then months or even years later, you realized that missing out on that thing made room for something better. Something you couldn't have planned, predicted, or even imagined. That wasn't coincidence, that was providence. What's meant for you waits for you. It waits for your maturity. It waits for your readiness. It waits for the right environment, the right people, the right season. It doesn't skip town because you had a bad week or made a wrong turn. Even the delays serve a purpose. Sometimes you're being hidden because it's not time for you to be seen. Sometimes you're being refined so you don't mishandle what's coming. Sometimes you're being taught how to steward small things so you can be trusted with greater things. What's meant for you will come when it's supposed to, not when you're anxious, not when you're demanding, but when you're positioned and prepared. You don't need to chase it, you just need to grow into it. Purpose doesn't follow your timing, it follows alignment. So often, we get frustrated because things aren't happening as quickly as we want them to. We set deadlines for our dreams. We tell ourselves, by this age, I should be here. By this time next year, I should have that. And when those timelines don't come to pass, we start questioning the purpose itself. But purpose was never designed to respond to your calendar. It's not activated by urgency. It's activated by alignment. Until your life, your mindset, your habits, and your heart line up with the weight of what you've been called to carry, the fullness of your purpose will wait. That's not delay its design. There are things you want now that you're not ready for yet. Not because you're unworthy, but because the assignment is heavier than it looks. Purpose comes with pressure. It comes with responsibility. It requires maturity, discipline, and clarity. And those things don't come with time alone. They come with intentional alignment. You could wait for 10 years and still not be ready if you're not in alignment with what you were created for. On the other hand, you could make a shift in your thinking, in your habits, in your priorities, and experience acceleration that no clock could explain. Alignment means you're not just doing things, you're doing the right things, you're not just moving, you're moving in the right direction. There's a big difference between activity and alignment. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're building. Just because you're moving doesn't mean you're advancing. Purpose requires you to focus, to prune distractions, and to prioritize what truly matters. You can't walk in alignment with your purpose while entertaining every opportunity, every voice, and every opinion. At some point, you have to decide what deserves your energy. When you begin to align yourself with purpose, timing becomes less of a concern. Because you understand that the right moment is not about the date on the calendar, it's about the condition of your soul. Are you ready to carry what you're asking for? Can you sustain it when it shows up? Can you handle the pressure, the discipline, the accountability? These are alignment questions, and until you answer them with your actions, purpose will stay parked outside your door. It's easy to admire someone else's results and overlook their alignment. You see the fruit, but you didn't see the root. You see the stage, but you didn't see the struggle. You want their outcome, but would you be willing to match their discipline, their sacrifice, their process? Purpose doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't show up uninvited. It responds to preparation, and preparation is the evidence of belief. When you believe something is coming, you prepare for it, you make space for it, you change for it. That's alignment. Alignment also means obedience. Sometimes the next level of your life is waiting on one act of obedience. One decision to cut off a distraction. One decision to forgive. One decision to show up consistently, even when you don't feel like it. You're not waiting on timing. Timing is waiting on you, because the moment you align, things start to shift. Doors open, people show up, resources move, not because the universe is finally working, but because you are finally working with it, not against it. It's not that purpose is hidden, it's that access to purpose is protected by alignment. When you move in integrity, when you steward your time and talents with intention, when you stop trying to control the outcome and instead commit to the process, alignment begins to do what effort alone never could. It creates momentum, it attracts favor, it accelerates results in ways that defy logic. The right door won't require you to force it. When something is truly meant for you, it flows. It may challenge you, it may stretch you, but it won't require you to constantly struggle just to hold it in place. Forcing a door usually means you're trying to make something work that isn't aligned with your purpose, your timing, or your development. There's a big difference between working hard in faith and forcing something in fear. Faith builds with discipline, patience, and consistency. Force pushes with anxiety, urgency, and control. One leads to peace, the other leads to exhaustion. When you try to force a door, you often compromise in ways that cost you more later. You might water down your standards, ignore red flags, pretend something is working when it clearly isn't. That's not strength, that's survival. That's trying to make a season permanent that was only meant to teach you something. The right door won't require you to sacrifice your values just to gain access. It won't require manipulation, desperation, or pretending to be someone you're not. You won't have to beg anyone to believe in you, partner with you, or see your worth. The right door will recognize the version of you that's in alignment with your calling. Sometimes we confuse effort with forcing. Effort is good. Effort is necessary. It's about showing up with excellence and intention. But forcing is trying to convince yourself that something is right when every part of you knows it isn't. It's clinging to situations that are clearly draining you. It's trying to keep a relationship, a job, or an opportunity alive that's already expired. The energy it takes to keep forcing the wrong thing could be used to prepare for the right one. There's wisdom in recognizing when something just doesn't fit. Not everything that's available is appropriate. Not every door that opens is assigned to you. Some doors are distractions dressed as opportunities. And when you walk through the wrong one, it can cost you peace, time, and clarity. But when it's the right door, it opens with confirmation. It aligns with your purpose. It may still require effort, but it won't feel like you're pushing against resistance every step of the way. You'll feel a sense of peace, clarity, and divine flow. Not ease in the sense that there are no challenges, but a sense that even the challenges are building you instead of breaking you. Forcing things usually comes from fear, fear that nothing better will come, fear that you'll miss your moment, fear that if you don't make it happen, it won't happen. But fear leads to decisions that lack faith. And when you build on fear, you build on a foundation that can't sustain you. The right door requires trust. Trust that what's meant for you will recognize you. Trust that the opportunity that aligns with your assignment will meet you in the place where preparation and purpose connect. When the right door opens, it often comes with confirmation, not confusion. You don't have to ask 10 people if it's right. You don't have to talk yourself into peace. You don't have to manufacture signs. The right door will feel like something inside you has already said yes, even before your mind can fully make sense of it. There's a difference between waiting in expectancy and hustling out of panic. One builds your character. The other wears you down. You can still be diligent, persistent, and disciplined without trying to force what isn't aligned. Worry is misplaced faith in the problem. It's a form of belief, but it's belief working in the wrong direction. When you worry, what you're really doing is putting trust in the idea that things are going to go wrong, that the worst case scenario will happen, that you'll be left without options, without resources, without hope. It's investing mental, emotional, and spiritual energy into outcomes you don't want, while robbing yourself of the clarity and strength you need to move forward. Worry doesn't fix anything. It doesn't change your circumstances. It only changes your posture. It bends you under a weight that was never meant to be carried in your own strength. You were designed to move in faith, not in fear. But when you worry, you're rehearsing failure in your mind. You're forecasting defeat. You're aligning your thoughts with lack, limitation, and loss. That alignment begins to shape your actions, your decisions, and even your relationships. You hesitate when you should move. You retreat when you should advance. You settle when you were made to soar. Worry keeps you stuck in the space between your current situation and your future solution. It creates noise in your mind that drowns out wisdom, drowns out direction, and drowns out peace. There's a reason worry is so exhausting. It demands all your attention while giving you nothing in return. It steals sleep, drains creativity, and clouds your thinking. It's a thief dressed as preparation. Many people mistake worry for being responsible. They think that if they don't worry, they're not taking life seriously. But the truth is, worry is not responsibility. Planning is responsible. Preparing is responsible. Praying is responsible. Worry is just wasted energy on imaginary outcomes that may never come to pass. Misplaced faith in the problem becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you expect things to go wrong, the more you unconsciously move in ways that attract the very breakdown you fear. You speak defeat over your day before it starts. You expect people to disappoint you, so you keep your guard up and your heart closed. You anticipate rejection, so you never put yourself out there. That's not protection, it's limitation. You're building a life based on fear instead of vision. based on doubt instead of purpose. The antidote to worry is not control, it's surrender. It's shifting your belief from the size of the problem to the size of the one who is greater than the problem. You can't always predict what's going to happen, but you can choose to believe that no matter what unfolds, it will not destroy you. It will not derail your destiny. It may stretch you, but it won't break you. That kind of confidence doesn't come from perfect conditions. It comes from a practiced mindset, one that refuses to feed fear and instead feeds faith daily. Every time you catch yourself worrying, it's an opportunity to realign your focus. What are you really saying to yourself in that moment? That the problem is bigger than your preparation? That the setback is stronger than your purpose? That the delay is more powerful than your destiny? These are lies dressed as logic, and they have to be replaced with truth. Truth that says you are equipped. Truth that says you are backed by grace. Truth that says all things are working together for your good, even if you can't yet see how. Faith doesn't always eliminate the challenge, but it does change how you face it. Worry magnifies the obstacle. Faith magnifies the opportunity hidden within it. When you operate in faith, your thoughts shift from panic to purpose, from fear to strategy, from stress to strength. You stop asking, what if everything goes wrong? And start asking, what if everything works out better than I imagined? When you're ready, the right door will open. This is not just a motivational phrase. It's a principle that governs how purpose unfolds in your life. Readiness is not about perfection. It's about alignment, about maturity, about being in position internally to handle what's waiting for you externally. Many people are waiting on the opportunity, but the truth is, the opportunity is often waiting on the person to become the version of themselves that can sustain it. The door isn't delayed, it's preserved. Preserved for the version of you that knows how to walk through it without losing focus, character, or direction. The process of readiness is not always visible. It happens in the quiet places, in the hard lessons, in the seasons that don't look like success from the outside. It happens when you show up consistently, even when no one is watching. It happens when you choose growth over comfort, when you learn to take feedback without folding, when you commit to building the disciplines that success demands. Being ready is not about being loud, it's about being solid, being stable, being centered enough to steward what comes next without letting it undo you. So many people want elevation without transformation. They want the reward without the refining. But purpose is weighty, and if you walk into a door too early, before you've developed the strength, wisdom, or emotional stability to handle what's on the other side, you risk turning a blessing into a burden. The right door will not just require your talent, it will require your maturity, your resilience, your discernment. It will test your boundaries and your beliefs. It will ask you to stand tall in rooms you once prayed just to enter. Readiness is about identity. It's about knowing who you are before you get access to what you want. Because if you don't know who you are, the door may open, but you won't know how to walk through it with authority. You'll shrink, second, guess yourself, or sabotage the opportunity. But when you've been through the process, when you've done the work, when you've allowed the waiting season to shape your character, the door becomes less about arrival and more about assignment. You don't walk through it to prove anything, you walk through it to serve, to impact, to build. Sometimes the delay is not denial. It's a divine setup for development. You think you're waiting on the door, but the door is actually waiting on you to become someone who won't just enter, but thrive. This is why shortcuts don't work in purpose. You can't bypass process. You can't fake preparation. You can't manipulate maturity. Life has a way of testing whether you're really ready or just hoping you are. And the test usually comes in the form of responsibility, not recognition. The moment you think you're being overlooked, you're often being observed. How you handle the small things reveals what you'll do with the big ones. There's a version of you right now that can't carry what you're asking for. That version has to evolve. It has to grow in patience, in integrity, in vision. That doesn't mean you're disqualified. It means you're still in development. And development is not punishment, it's preparation. The greater the door, the greater the preparation required. You don't want to show up before you're ready, because an early entrance can lead to a quick exit. When it's the right time, and you're the right version of yourself, the door won't just open, it will welcome you. The people, the opportunities, the resources, they'll recognize you because you're in alignment with what they require.